Good morning. So I'm out taking care of business on this beautiful sunny Saturday. And I was thinking about the fact that it's income tax return time. And I remember years ago when I used to get my income tax return, like I qualified for earned income credit, and I used to be so stoked and excited about income tax time. Like when the first of the year hit, I'm like, okay. I didn't even wait until I got my W-2s. I would take my last check stub and be ready to file taxes. And I remember my mom telling me years ago, like, that's not anything to be excited about. Like, that's a sign of poverty. And I'm like, what? You tripping? It's free money. And I'm gonna do some stuff I ain't been able to do all year long. I have my kids in my early 20s, and I wasn't really financially prepared to have children. You do what you have to do. So of course it was a lot of sacrifice. So when I used to qualify for earned income credit and I used to get my tax return, I was excited about that because it was like, I can catch up on some bills. I can get some stuff that I wasn't able to get during the year that I wanted or needed or whatever the case may be. And it didn't really set in to me what my mom was trying to say until I got in a different income bracket. And then when I got in a different income bracket and I no longer qualified for earned income credit, I began to understand what my mom was saying. For me to qualify for that earned income credit, for me to get that bigger tax return, I had to be in a low income bracket. I had to be making less than a certain amount of money a year in order to even qualify for some of those credits. And that's when it began to set in to me what my mom meant by the fact that that's a sign of poverty. If you qualify for earned income credit, that means that during the year you don't really make a lot of money, and you're in a certain income level that's considered lower income. So it's not anything to be like excited about or happy about, because that means that really, like, you not really making a lot of money. And I mean, I'm not saying that money is everything, but at the same time, like, you're getting excited about this one-time check that you get every year that, we get online and we post our stacks on deck, and, we go out and splurge and buy things that we want or whatever. Sometimes people need that money to do things that they need to do with it. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with getting a big tax return because you qualify for earned income credit, but what I am saying is, instead of us like being so excited about getting a tax return or getting something from the government that we didn't work for, like, we need to set our goals a little bit higher. We need to, like, instead of focusing on like the first of the year and it's income tax time and I'm finna get online and flip my stacks and show everybody that I got some money. Like, everybody knows that from like January to March, if you on Facebook posting all these stacks of money that you got, is your income tax return. Like, if you flashing around like you got a new purse or new shoes, new clothes, new outfit, whatever the case may be, new car, 90% of the time, like, people already know, like, from January to March, if you going and got something new or you spending big, it's because you got your income tax return. And the thing about that is that money does not last forever. So you gonna get this money, you gonna spend this money, you gonna flash this money, you gonna ball till you fall, and then in a couple weeks or a month, if it lasts that long, now you broke again and waiting on the next income tax check return. I'm saying that because I know. I'm saying that because I've been there. So I'm grateful that, honestly, I don't get income tax return. I'm grateful that I don't qualify for earned income credit. That means that I make enough money where I'm not considered in the low income bracket. Do I miss getting those checks? Would I like to, get a little check here and there? Of course. But would I rather have money all year long? Or and not get a big earned income credit like tax return? Or would I rather get this big check once a year, $5,000-$6,000 or whatever it be, and then be broke the rest of the year once I spend it? it's just common sense. So this is what I recommend for those of you who are fortunate enough to still get earned income credit. You know, instead of taking that earned income credit and that tax return, you know, and going to blow it, like if you need a car, buy a car. You know, if you need some clothes or your kids need some clothes, go buy them. But instead of taking the money and blowing it and then looking back a month or two from now and those thousands are gone and you don't have nothing to show for it but a couple new outfits, a pair of J's, or whatever the case is, whatever it is you buy, use it wisely. Invest it. You know, get you a side business going so that, you know, if you work a job and you know, don't make but like $25,000 a year, $30,000 a year, $40,000 a year. You know, if you're making less than $50,000 a year, take that money and do something with it to invest so you can get a return on your investment. Do something with it so that you can have some residual income, so that you won't be looking for an income tax check every year. Because what do you do, like, eventually if the government decides they're not gonna do earned income credit no more? You pay your taxes based on whatever your income is, and that's that on that. We don't get no credits. We don't get no, you know, money because we got children and we make less than a certain amount of money. If they cut that out, then what? You know what I'm saying? We get so reliant on the government. We get so reliant on people handing stuff out to us. And I'm not saying that people, we don't deserve some, you know, we don't deserve help or we don't need help. What I'm saying is don't rely on that, because at some point you may not get that no more. I remember the days when I got those income tax check returns, and now I'm in the days where I'm like trying to find stuff to file so that I don't owe. Which is, you know, a gift and a curse, because that means I'm making good money throughout the year. But at the same token, it's like, okay, but let me make sure I don't owe them. So you got people who don't make enough money through the year, and then they get these big checks, and then you go, you know, blow it. And then you got people like me who make too much money, don't get like no big check, barely breaking even, if that, might owe, because, you know, you making so much money and you got to pay the taxes on the money that you making. And that's a good thing to a certain extent. Like, technically, I wish we didn't have to pay taxes at all. I wish I could just keep all my money, but that's, you know, the way the government's set up. That's what it is. That's what we have to do. But I'm just saying, like, all I'm saying is, there's nothing wrong with getting an income tax return. I'm not, please, people don't say that I'm saying that it's something wrong with getting an income tax return. And no, I'm not hating on people that's got their stacks on deck now, because it's the beginning of the year and they filed their taxes and I don't get no income tax return no more. I'm okay with that. What I'm saying is just aspire for more than just getting a tax return every year. Aspire for more than that. And if you get a bankroll in your tax return this year, instead of like going out and give you some red bottoms and a new purse, or, you know, give me a watch or whatever so I can stunt and stuff, and then the next week you don't got no money and you can't pay your light bill, that's not wisdom. And I'm saying these things because I've been there and I've done that. I've been there and I've done that, you know. So, and I'm wiser now. I got more sense now. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go out and go cop me something new and nice, and then when the money gone, I gotta wait a whole another year before I can get back on track. Or now I done got myself behind on my bills or whatever, because technically you was already behind. You get the check, and instead of you going and doing something wise with the money, you go and you want to stunt and show out, or you just want something nice. And there's nothing wrong with wanting something nice. Again, I'm not saying that, but use wisdom. If you get $5,000 or $6,000, take $1,000, go do some shopping, something small, nothing big, and then take the rest of the money. And I'm not saying put it up in the bank and just let it sit there. I'm saying do something to make your money multiply. Do something. Like, you may not be a business savvy person where you want to go out and start a business. Cool, you don't got to. But do something to make that money multiply. Turn your 4 into the 4 you got left into 6. And then take the 2 that you made and use that to turn that 2 into 4. And then you look around and eventually you ain't going to need no income tax return. Do you see what I'm saying? So we like so brainwashed into thinking like we got to rely on what the government give us or what somebody else do for us. No. There's plenty of money out here. There's plenty of opportunity out here. And that don't mean like, everybody ain't cut to go to school and get no degree. Everybody ain't cut to work a certain job. Some people can get out here and legally hustle. And I don't mean like selling no drugs. I said legally hustle. Man, like you can go out here and make money doing something else. Maybe you got a skill or a trade. Take your income tax return money and build into yourself and your business in a way to be financially straight where you don't got to rely on the government. Because what happens if while Trump in office he decide ain't gonna be no more earned income credit? It's gonna be some sick people around tax time. See, I done already experienced it. I already know what it's like not to get earned income credit, but not because Trump or nobody else took it from me. It's because I make money now and I don't qualify for it. Am I mad that I don't qualify for earned income credit? Nah, because that means that I'm getting some money out here. You know what I'm saying? So again, not saying anything is wrong with no income tax return. I am not saying that anything is wrong with earned income credit. I am not saying that anything is wrong with getting things that the government offers you to get yourself in a different position. But what I am saying is, one, don't rely on it. Two, don't get the stuff that whatever you get from the government and go blow it and try to splurge and be out here like trying to live like the people you see online, like with the handbags and the shoes and the clothes and stuff like that, because you will end up broke, can't pay your light bill, and then what? I'm just saying, you got kids to take care of. That's why you qualifying for earned income credit. So take that tax return money you get, buy the stuff you need, buy a couple things that you want, don't overdo it, and then invest that money. Make that money turn into something else. Invest in yourself, invest in a business, invest in a trade, invest in something where you don't have to rely on a tax return every year. So I'm saying all that to say that now it makes sense to me when my mom said that getting an income tax return because the earned income credit is nothing to be excited about. It's a sign of poverty. It makes sense. It is. It means that you're not making enough money to pay taxes, so they gotta give you back what you paid and some on top of that. And then we go and get it and get online and take pictures with it and all that kind of stuff and pretend like you living this life that you're not, instead of like getting online and pretending that you living this life that you're not. How about you take that money and make a way for you to live the life that you want to live, where you don't have to be dependent on no earned income credit. That's just my little 2 cents for today. I pray that you all be super blessed. It's beautiful out here. The sun is shining. I got things to do, places to go, people to see. So I'm out here. Go check out my website, lifestylern.com. Products to order, books to buy, read. Yeah. So have a blessed day.